But the story that we are breaking, the Janata Dal secular candidate from Hassan, its MP Prajwal Revanna is finally en route to Bengaluru. The man who's accused of serial sexual offences is finally returning back to India after having stayed out of the country for more than a month. Prajwal has boarded a Lufthansa Munich-Bengaluru flight. The Ministry of External Affairs is to revoke his diplomatic passport. The MEA has given Prajwal Revanna 10 days notice, and there are reports that he could be arrested the moment he lands at the airport in Bengaluru a little after midnight tonight. I'm joined by Nagarjun Dwarkanath, our Bengaluru Bureau Chief. Nagarjun, am I right to say the Karnataka SIT likely to arrest him immediately on arrival?
Well, that is true, Rajdeep. In fact, the SIT will be inside the Terminal 2 of Kempegowda International Airport at the immigration counter itself. The moment he lands, he swipes his passport and crosses the immigration checkpoint. He will be picked up by the SIT police because there's already a court-issued arrest warrant against Prajwal Revanna. Prajwal Revanna had issued a statement that he would be appearing before the SIT at 10:30 in the morning or 11 a.m. in the morning on 31st, that is tomorrow. But they are not giving him any chance because there's a warrant. He will be picked up right at the airport and taken to the SIT headquarters this night tonight.
Okay, so the arrest is likely to be effected tonight itself. That's the big news coming in at the moment. Prajwal Revanna finally, after spending almost 5 weeks out of the country facing serious sexual abuse charges, the JDS leader is set to be arrested. We'll keep track of that story. Let's turn to the other big story we are tracking. Curtains have finally come down on the campaign for the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. Remember, the final phase of voting now takes place on Saturday. On the final day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Punjab, where former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh issued an appeal to the voters to save the constitution, claiming that no other Prime Minister had so undignified the post with allegedly divisive remarks. The Prime Minister, though, is heading to Kanyakumari, where he will meditate for 48 hours. The opposition, well, Rahul Gandhi was in Odisha on the final day of the election campaign. How has this campaign played out? The Prime Minister, remember, has addressed more than 200 rallies, while the Congress leaders, Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi, have addressed over 100. Let's take a look at how this has all played out and then ask the question, who has the momentum going into the final phase?
The world's largest democratic exercise is coming to a close. Campaign for the final phase of Lok Sabha elections ended on Thursday. 57 constituencies from 8 states and union territories, including Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, West Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, will vote on Saturday. The last day of what has been a fiercely fought battle saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi campaign in Punjab, where a 4-way contest is on. He targeted both Congress and AAP, which are fighting each other in the border state.
कांग्रेस भ्रष्टाचार की जननी है। 60 साल तक कांग्रेस ने जो कारनामे किए हैं, भ्रष्टाचार की एक से बढ़कर एक वारदातें की हैं, ऐसा लगता है कांग्रेस ने भ्रष्टाचार में डबल पीएचडी कर ली है और अब कांग्रेस के साथ एक और कट्टर भ्रष्टाचारी पार्टी भी जुड़ गई है। इतना ही नहीं, ये भयंकर झूठवादी पार्टी भी है। यहां तो आमने सामने लड़ने का ड्रामा कर रहे हैं, दिल्ली में एक साथ चुनाव लड़ रहे थे।
Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh wrote an open letter to voters of Punjab. Singh appealed to the voters that this is the final chance to protect democracy and constitution. He said they should vote to protect democracy from a despotic regime that is trying to unleash dictatorship. He accused Prime Minister Modi of indulging in the most vicious form of hate speech. Singh said no Prime Minister in the past has uttered such hateful terms to target a specific section of society. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge echoed Singh's views.
विपक्षी पार्टियों की बात के एक बार भी महंगाई और बेरोजगार बात नहीं की, यानी दूसरे चीजें उन्होंने बोली। मोदी का नाम हुआ, हमारा हुआ, गठबंधन का हुआ, लेकिन बेरोजगारी के बारे में एक शब्द भी अपने भाषण में उन्होंने नहीं बोला।
While Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra campaigned in Himachal Pradesh, Rahul Gandhi was in Odisha and Punjab.
हिंदुस्तान की इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद पहली बार संविधान पर आक्रमण हो रहा है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी और बीजेपी के नेताओं ने साफ कह दिया है कि अगर वो चुनाव जीतेंगे तो वो अंबेडकर जी के संविधान को, गांधी जी के संविधान को रद्द कर देंगे, फाड़ के फेंक देंगे।
With the campaign ending, party leaders have turned to divine help. Priyanka Gandhi offered prayers at a Hanuman temple in Himachal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Kanyakumari on Thursday evening, where he offered prayers at the Bhagwati Amman temple. He will be meditating at the Vivekananda Memorial from Friday to Saturday. Bureau Report, India Today.
So as the campaign of 2024 winds down, who has the momentum ahead of the big results? And before that, of course, exit poll day. What is the most likely scenario to emerge after the elections this time? Joining me now, Syed Zafar Islam, the BJP's former MP and spokesperson, Shama Mohammed, Congress spokesperson, Rahul Verma, fellow for Policy, Center for Policy Research, and Rajat Sethi, a political commentator who's been strongly identified in the past with BJP governments. I appreciate all four of you joining me on the show today. Let's get clarity from each of you. Who has the momentum, the big more factor? Syed Zafar Islam, you're the party that was in pole position at the start of the election. Now some reports are suggesting it could be a closer fight. Give us your sense. Give me your number, if I may ask you that, your best case and worst case scenario for the BJP.
Well, Rajdeep, we were in pole position at the beginning, and we continue to be in pole position and a very strong position even now. So there is absolutely no match as far as the opposition is concerned. We definitely have won the confidence of the people of this great country. We exactly know that they will bless us, we will have their blessing, and we will definitely not only win this election with simple majority, with a thumping majority.
No, so give me your best case. Give me, sir, today is the day to give me your best case and worst case scenario.
I'm giving you that. I'm giving you that number also. See, why do we say that we will have a thumping majority? Purely because every single constituency, you have also visited, you also have your own opinion, and as somebody told me, I have not seen that program, that you also said that it is NDA government which will be formed. So, and many of the opposition leaders as well as the psephologists who are from the opposition camp, and they keep targeting us, they have also arrived to this conclusion that NDA will win comfortably and with a very good margin. Away from that, if you ask anyone on the street, they will say that we have voted for Modi. We want a government whose governance model is primarily to ensure the safety and security and welfare of the people, and to make India as a country very strong country. Everything we have demonstrated in last 10 years is something we went with our report card to the people, and people have appreciated what we have done in last 10 years.
So your number, sir. I've listened to all of this several times in the last 2 months. Give me your number now.
So let me give you. So after sixth phase, we are close to 360 as an India, and after seventh phase, we have crossed 360, but after seventh phase, perhaps we'll be reaching our target. So we had won this election after the fourth phase. Now we are only getting bonus.
Okay, so you're saying you're still okay.
We are
you're claiming 400 par.
Every calculation.
Okay, you're claiming 400 par. I will come to you to know where these numbers are coming, because it's nice to throw numbers, but you have to give some logic to the numbers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll come to the logic in a moment. Shama Mohammed, best case and worst case scenario for the Congress party and the opposition.
Well, we are crossing 300 for sure, because let's understand one thing, Rajdeep, how this election has run for the last, 4-5 months. He started with 400 par, Modi ki guarantee, Viksit Bharat. After the first phase, what has happened, first two phases, we don't hear these things anymore. It's all about the Congress manifesto. It is so sad to hear the Prime Minister of India saying, Tala lagayenge mandir ke upar if the Congress party comes. Then he says the Congress party did not attend the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, do not vote for them. I mean, according to the People's Representation Act 123(3), and a judgment passed in 2017 by Justice T.S. Thakur at that point, a 7-bench judgment said clearly that no politician should ask votes based on religion, caste, community. So my biggest fear this time is the Election Commission, which has completely failed us because there's been numerous violations of the Model Code of Conduct by the Prime Minister. Many a times he has abused the minorities, especially the Muslims, where he says that they will take away your sampat, your wealth will be taken from them and given to the Hindus. The Congress party is going to be doing this. All these sort of things where strict action had to be taken against the Prime Minister of the country was not taken. The BJP was ruling the country for 10 years. Let's understand that. Why didn't they talk about how much they reduced the price rise, how many jobs were given, what have they done, whether they said by 2022 they will double the income of farmers, whether they are giving, making it legal or not,
ma'am, again with you also, I've heard all of this in the last 2 months.
About it. That is what I'm trying to tell you.
What are your most likely scenarios? An objective, I'm hoping from politicians for once that they will be a little objective. So what's your best and worst case scenario?
No, I'm telling you, we are crossing, India Alliance is crossing 300. And I'll tell you simply why. Last time in Delhi, they got 7 out of 10, which is not possible. Haryana, they got 10 out of 10, which is not possible. Congress will get 6 out of that. In Rajasthan, they got 24 out of 25, which is not possible. Karnataka, 25 out of 28, not possible. In Uttarakhand, 5 out of 5, which is not possible. Himachal, 3 out of 4, not possible. And
they got 4 out of 4 in Himachal, 25 out of 25 in Rajasthan.
17, which is not
so
possible.
You're saying they've maxed out. What is your Congress number, ma'am?
Yeah,
will the Congress cross 100? It's one thing to say where the BJP is. Will the Congress cross 100?
No. The Congress is crossing 120. I'm telling you very clearly that. Because we have also have calculations. We have our war room numbers. We have.
Which are the states you're getting the numbers from?
So
to go from 53 to 120, you're doubling your seat. Which are the states?
Telangana, Karnataka, we are getting for sure. Haryana, where we were completely finished off. Jharkhand, they got 11 out of 13. Jharkhand, they are going to go down. Chhattisgarh, they will go down. So I'm telling you exactly where Himachal, we will do better. So Maharashtra is somewhere the Vikas Agadi will do much better than their Mahayukti Agadi. Okay. And also, you will watch Bihar. That's the other game changer where you will see the numbers. So I've clearly said where are numbers increasing. But if you ask the Bharatiya Janata Party, they have no answer. In the south, as you know, it's completely, they are not gaining anyway. Maybe where they will gain a bit is in Andhra, Bharatiya Janata Party. There is no Tamil Nadu, no way. Kerala, no way. Karnataka, they're going down. Telangana, they are not going to go up. They had 4, they will either have 4 or they will go down. So there is no way they are going up. I fail to understand. Even Punjab, the other state, where they are going to do very well.
I've heard both
so there's
of you
no
now.
way they're going
Shama
to be
Mohammed,
gaining, and they keep talking.
Ma'am, I've heard you. You've been given time. You said that you will cross 120 and you believe an alliance will cross 300. There is Syed Zafar Islam saying that you've already crossed 360. We are reaching 400. I'll come to how he's getting those numbers in a moment. But Rahul Verma, that one state not discussed by both, which many now believe is the state that will hold the key, is Uttar Pradesh. We are getting reports from the ground that the BJP could go down severely. Other reports suggest the BJP will hold on to its own. They won 62 out of 80. But if there's one state where we are getting conflicting reports from very senior, seasoned observers of UP, it is that the BJP could even go down to as low as 50, 45. Do you believe that, or do you believe the BJP will hold its own in UP and therefore be closer to 300, not 400, but 300, the most likely?
So yes, it is possible, and that's why the reason you are hearing conflicting reports from UP, because people do not know where BSP, leftover BSP vote is going to go. If it goes in a large way towards Samajwadi Party, the elections will become more competitive and closer. Who will win? I don't know, because BJP enjoys a large margin even in state of Uttar Pradesh. So even if there is a 4 to 5% swing from BSP towards the Samajwadi Party side, you still don't know whether the seats would flip. But yes, the contest has become much keener and tighter. So UP, but if you are going to see a 10-seat swing against BJP in UP, then BJP is going to be in deep trouble. If BJP holds on to its position or improves, then
what
BJP
do you mean by deep trouble? What is the
29.
worst case scenario? When you say deep trouble, Rahul, what do you see the worst case? BJP could go below 250, you're saying?
See, I think first there is a consensus that BJP is going to be the single largest party no matter what. And we also know that Congress is likely to improve its position. But even when Congress improves its overall position, even in a worst case scenario, BJP is going to be 3 times large as Congress, or it could also go more than that, right? So the worst case scenario, what we have been hearing for BJP is 240, 250, and we just heard a best case scenario for Congress is 120. And the best case scenario for BJP goes up to 325 or something like that. So largely, the election is not whether BJP is, largely the election is about whether BJP is going to retain its 300 number around that point, or is going to come down to 272 or below. Given how the election has stacked, yes, during the course, it seemed much more competitive. BJP has been certain times back foot on the narrative game, but overall, the math still favors in BJP's favor to cross the majority mark.
Rajat Sethi, till a month ago, no one would have imagined a scenario where the BJP could go below 272. Now at least it's being spoken about. Is there a sense that in the last stages of the campaign, the BJP has lost momentum? Or do you believe, quite to the contrary, the opposition has lost steam?
So this is where I draw similarities between cricket and politics. Any kind of predictions, and you will find yourself in a situation which is very embarrassing. The same goes with cricket. I mean, a couple of overs here and there and things can change. What has happened in this election is that opposition did get certain chances, certain moments where it tried its best to sort of capitalize it. Is it enough? My answer is no. I mean, I was expecting, for instance, if Rahul Gandhi would have certainly gone ahead and fought Amethi, he would have given a tough contest to Smriti Irani there and boosted the morale and the sentiment in UP much more. If Arvind Kejriwal could have come out of jail and unleashed a campaign which could have drawn into the emotional appeal which was initially getting some green shoots once he was arrested. He did not do that. He fell into a trap on his own. Then the mutual contradictions which the India Alliance wasn't able to come over with. In your interview with Arvind Kejriwal, surprisingly, Arvind Kejriwal could not name what this relationship with Congress was. He was like, no, this is neither an engagement nor a marriage. It is at best an illicit relationship. So these contradictions, etc., did not allow the opposition to capitalize upon certain areas where BJP suddenly saw on a weak wicket. Right. And I think this is where it is going to cost the opposition. For example, Maharashtra, you hail from there. Let me tell you, even in Maharashtra, the Mahavikas Aghadi was looking fairly comfortable to, at least on a Maharashtra state level, cross the NDA alliance in terms of seats. But they also missed out on several, opportunities on the ground, right from Vidarbha region all the way till Konkan belt. Across seats, I'm seeing that NDA was able to pull back and come up with a strong sort of narrative on the ground, do those micromanagements that were needed in order to safeguard those seats.
You're saying you're saying 280 to 300? Those are your numbers?
So I was going to say that BJP might be at best 15 to 20 seats short of its 2019 number. That's where I am guessing, largely because, Haryana and some pockets in Rajasthan, they're losing seats. Maharashtra, they will lose certain 4 or 5 number of seats, not much. UP will largely remain status quo. In you point out to your audience, Akhilesh Yadav did a fairly decent job in terms of
Okay,
the
I've
social
lost touch
engineering
with
that he
Rajat.
brought.
We'll
Give
go
tickets to
back.
Muslim candidates the way.
Right. There's a break in your audio, Rajat. I'll come back to you in a moment. But I want to play what the Prime Minister's sort of sharpened attack after round one was, and how Rahul Gandhi tried to change his style of narrative midway through the campaign. Listening to two quotes from each of them, from their speeches, that in a way typified how this campaign changed its narrative.
कि अगर कांग्रेस की सरकार बनेगी तो हर एक की प्रॉपर्टी का सर्वे किया जाएगा। हमारी बहनों के पास सोना कितना है उसकी जांच की जाएगी, उसका हिसाब लगाया जाएगा। हमारे आदिवासी परिवारों में चांदी होती है, सिल्वर कितना है उसका हिसाब लगाया जाएगा। सरकारी मुलाजिमों के पास कितना जगह है, क्या है, पैसे कहाँ है, नौकरी कहाँ है, उसकी जांच की जाएगी। इतना ही नहीं, आगे क्या कहा है, ये जो गोल्ड है बहनों का और जो संपत्ति है, ये सबको समान रूप से वितरित कर दी जाएगी। मेरी माताओं बहनों की जिंदगी में सोना वो सिर्फ शो करने के लिए नहीं होता है, उसके स्वाभिमान से जुड़ा हुआ है। उसका मंगलसूत्र वो एक सोने का कीमत का मुद्दा नहीं है, उसके जीवन के सपनों से जुड़ा हुआ है। तुम उसे छीनने की बात कर रहे हो अपने मैनिफेस्टो में।
अगर आप गरीबी रेखा के नीचे हो, आपके बैंक अकाउंट में हर साल 1 लाख रुपया, 8,500 रुपया महीने का खटाखट 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 आता रहेगा। और एक झटके से हिंदुस्तान से हम गरीबी को मिटा देंगे।
So Khatakat on one side, Mangal Sutra on the other. Syed Zafar Islam, has the Prime Minister tried to in some way rouse his own flock? Did he try at some stage to polarize this campaign because he feared the Congress was getting away with the narrative, particularly of Samvidhan Khatre mein hai? Have you all had to respond to the opposition right through this narrative, something that you didn't expect to do at the start of the campaign?
No, Rajdeep, see, our campaign was exactly as planned. So there was absolutely we were never overly concerned about what the opposition bench is trying to do, because we knew that we are addressing the people of this country, and we know exactly how they admire the Honorable Prime Minister. Their confidence lies not in the opposition bench, but with the BJP and our leadership, and particularly I'm talking about the Honorable Prime Minister. What the Congress overseas in charge had spoken about, the inherent tax, I mean, that is the mindset which they have demonstrated, they have spoken about it. So Rahul Gandhi and the company and the India Alliance people, they made him speak their agenda, and they wanted to test the water.
But you are responding consistently. You are responding consistently to what you claimed existed in the Congress manifesto, some of which was not even there. I mean, the fact is that, is it not true that the BJP allowed the Congress manifesto to take center stage rather than focus on your own manifesto of a Viksit Bharat?
No, Rajdeep. In fact, this 8,500 came from where? Was there in their manifesto? There are many things they have announced subsequent to releasing their manifesto. We were focusing on our agenda. That has worked very well. Now campaign is over. We are absolutely sure of our...
Where did Mangal Sutra and Bhais come in your manifesto? Where is Mangal Sutra and Bhais in your manifesto? Why not be honest? If politicians would appreciate if you were honest, that you tried to polarize the electorate at some stage, because that is your core strength. Why not accept that? You wanted to galvanize, rouse your Hindu vote bank.
They polarized.
Just a minute, ma'am. After the first round, because voter turnout was low, you wanted to rouse your flock.
I think if really you want to do a back testing, Rajdeep, you will realize it is the Congress party and the other party who are seen and we've spoken about that MY kind of arrangement where Yadav and Muslim and Dalit are kind of arrangement, and this section of the society they divide for their own benefit. We have always spoken that sabka saath, sabka vikas, but there are issues which has come up during the election campaign and this had to be addressed,
right.
had to be spoken, so spoken. But as far as our agenda is concerned, we want to take everyone along, and that is the Honorable Prime Minister. When people were talking about Muslim community, he very clearly clarified that we are not against anyone. In fact, he told you many instances how close his childhood, during his childhood, how close he was with the Muslim family. But away from that, it is not that while responding we may have spoken something, but in terms of our efforts, in terms of what we have delivered in the last 10 years, that sabka saath, sabka vikas, all
so you're saying this election has been about the 10 years of your report card.
We have ensured
okay, I take your point. Shama Mohammed, we heard the khat bite of Rahul Gandhi. I mean, there are those who are saying, you know, what kind of economics is this that you're coming in and saying, khat, within minutes I will put 1 lakh in the bank accounts of all women. Have you all done your calculations? It seems if the BJP was looking to divide, you were also resorting to competitive populism at one level and fear-mongering, saying, Samvidhan khatre mein hai. I mean, on what basis did you say BJP will remove reservations if they come to power again?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
I will tell you that. I just want to correct you. You mentioned last time 25 out of 25. In Rajasthan, it is 24 out of 25. One seat was won by RLP. So I won't be wrong.
But he was a supporter. RLP supported BJP at the time.
Let me tell you but it is a different number.
Okay,
so it's 24 out of 25 if you look at BJP. That is the official number. So I don't go wrong on my facts. Now let me give you what my leader Rahul Gandhi, he's talking about the price rise which is happening in this country, and we've got the Mahalakshmi scheme to help out. Then Pehli Naukri Pakki, because there's unemployment, and we are going to give these unemployed youth, I mean, if they come out with a degree, they will get a job or an apprenticeship in the first year. Now, why do we say we can do it? Because we brought in the Food Security Act. We were able to have finance for that, money for that. We got in Manrega, we had money for that. Now, you asked me the other question about how they will remove the reservation. What is the reason that they want to change the constitution? And I will give you facts for that. Anand Kumar Hegde said 400 par ke baad, after we get 400, we will change the constitution. Diya Kumari, who is their deputy CM, said once we pass 400, we will change the constitution. Jyoti Mirda, another one of their candidates, she said the same thing. Arun Govil said the same thing. Now, why do we know that after this they want to change the constitution? Because they do not want reservation. Because we go back to 2015 when Mohan Bhagwat, before the Bihar Assembly election, said, "Arakshan ko hatana padega." We have to remove reservation. Otherwise, we want to remove reservation from the constitution. One. Number two, Manmohan Vaidya in 2017 repeated the same thing. In 2018, C.P. Thakur, their member of parliament, repeated the same thing. We are going to remove reservation. And in 2021, Jairam Thakur, their former CM of Himachal, repeated the same thing. So I've given you facts and how this has played out. So the reason is, that is the reason they want to get 400 par. So it was clearly people understood that reservation had to be taken down. And the other very important thing is, Mr. Modi never talked about their manifesto. They didn't talk about the jobs given, what will be given, nothing. They're talking about the manifesto of the Congress party. Because we had a fantastic manifesto where we spoke about even the 13 lakh jobs
this khat
vacant
fantastic
in the
manifesto
which
aside,
has not been filled
this
up.
thing I will
And
give
also,
khat 1 lakh to every woman. Many people are saying, and then saying midway through the
well,
campaign, don't worry, 1 lakh is not enough, I'll double it to 2.
Karnataka and Telangana.
Have you all done your numbers? Have you all got your numbers in place?
No,
or is it simply throwing cash at people in the hope they will vote for you?
Rajdeep, we have done that with, I told you, Manrega and Food Security Act. We could do it then during the UPA time. We are doing it in Karnataka and Telangana. The promises we have made to the people are being kept in both the states. You can go and check whatever you want, and if you feel there is a discrepancy, come back to us. So we talk about the manifesto. We talk about what the real things are. My question today to the BJP person sitting here, Why is the Prime Minister of India not talking about anything what he did for 10 years? And I'm telling you, one of the biggest corruption is the electoral bonds. The second biggest is PM cares. And the third one is demonetization. If we come to power, we will be investigating all the three of them.
You made your point, ma'am.
Beyond any corrupt practice.
You
He keeps
made your
pointing
point
fingers
now.
at us.
Ma'am,
we have no cases against us.
Okay, made your point. I will get final words, therefore, from Rahul Verma and from Rajat Sethi. If there is one X factor that will decide what happens on the 4th of June, what should we be looking at? First, you, Rahul Verma. What is that one thing that you believe will decide whether the BJP is 300 par or whether it is 240 ke niche?
See, I think at the beginning of the campaign, when pre-poll surveys came out, what we saw that there was a disjunction between basically economic anxieties and people's political choices. While a large number of voters mentioned about price rise, unemployment, and some of those issues, they were voting for BJP and choosing Prime Minister Modi over other faces. What needs to be seen, whether this group of voters, which may not be core BJP support base, but was expressing economic anxiety, whether they turned out to vote or not, and whether they voted against BJP, and simultaneously whether this narrative of 400 par backfired in some ways, that it led to creation of that BJP needs 400 to change the constitution or remove the reservation. And so looking at how some of the newly won segments, such as Dalit and lower OBCs, who joined or started voting for BJP since 2014, have got disenchanted with them or not. And if this is true, then it would get reflected in the UP verdict much more than anywhere else. And so if BJP is going below, say, 50 in UP, then you would have a national ramification of that. If BJP scores better in UP, then the losses in states like Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra or Rajasthan are going to be very, very minimal.
Okay, Rajat Sethi, what's the one X factor that can change this election between? What will you look forward to on the 4th of June more closely than anything? Can anything change the possibility? Because elections always have all kinds of possibility. The worst case scenario, we are listing at BJP below 240. Best case, BJP crosses 300.
I think, Rajdeep, I have myself been campaigning across 5 different states, mostly in southern India, below the Vindhyas. One of the biggest X factors is the women voter. Women voters are consistently underrepresented in surveys, underrepresented in opinion polls, underrepresented in the strategies of political parties and in their war rooms. I can tell you, in all of these seats that I have been very closely monitoring, women voters are largely silent voters, and they, if they come out with the number, with the conviction, they can sway the election much beyond what analysts can actually predict from their AC rooms.
Okay.
I can tell you in Uttar Pradesh also, no matter what we sort of try and parse what Akhilesh Yadav did with his social engineering, everything will come to a halt if women decide to back Yogi and Modi duo in Uttar Pradesh. They might even go all the way up till 70, 72 seats.
Okay.
So keep that caveat when you look at your opinion poll, exit poll numbers, as well as the day of the results.
Rajat, you've taken something that I've been saying, written about it a week ago, called the M factor, the Mahila factor. I use up MY, Mahila and Yuva. M for Mahila, Y for Yuva. The Mahila Yuva factor could well decide whether the BJP has a comfortable majority or whether the BJP then struggles to rustle up that 272 figure with its allies. With Uttar Pradesh and possibly Maharashtra and Karnataka and Bengal and Bihar being the 5 states that you should be looking out for. Maharashtra, Bihar, Bengal, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh. They will decide what happens on the 4th. But for now, I will leave all of you to have your sleepless nights and have all the dreams, including Zafar Islam saying BJP 400 par, good luck to you, and Shama Mohammed saying India Alliance 300 par. Politicians are entitled to live in the world of sapne or dreams. Thank you all very much for joining me at the moment. Let me turn from there to the other focus that I want to give, something that affects each of us across this country at the moment, but especially in North and Central India. There is an intensive heat wave of the kind the country has rarely seen. Yesterday, temperatures soared to over 50 degrees Celsius in the national capital, breaking new records. 52.3 was recorded in some parts. And now you can see water wars taking place, people fighting for a drop of water as battles in the national capital take place. And this, remember, is only in the last week of May. We still have the cruel month of June ahead of us. Joining me now to understand what's been happening and why these temperatures could suggest possible implications of climate change, Dr. Arunabha Ghosh, Founder, CEO, Council for Energy, Environment and Water. Appreciate you joining us, Dr. Ghosh. How bad is it? Is this 52 degrees being recorded in the last week of May a sign of things to come? And what do you attribute it to?
Rajdeep, there's certainly a sign of things to come, but first one clarification. The Indian Meteorological Department has said that the monitor that recorded 52.3 degrees yesterday had a calibration error, and it's not the most accurate figure. Their estimation is that in Delhi, it's still in the 46 to 49 degree range. That being said, the point is there is no question that with a warming climate, we are faced with what are called non-linear risks. Means that what was the norm, what was the extreme yesterday becomes the norm today. What's extreme today becomes the norm tomorrow. We are seeing heat wave days across the country. I had written about this a few weeks ago as well, that compared to the average of 4 to 8 days of heat waves in a single summer, this year we could be expecting upwards of 20 days of heat waves. Of course, there are more than 30 cities across the country, not just Delhi, that's undergoing a severe heat wave right now. And therefore, we have to ask ourselves a very fundamental question. How much longer do we have to wait before we, as government, as businesses, as citizens, understand that the climate crisis is not some faraway polar bear crisis? It is here and now. We are in it, and we've got to start preparing a lot more about becoming more resilient against this threat.
How would that happen? You're identifying the problem. How do you resolve it?
Yes. So, Rajdeep, as you know, we are one of the fastest urbanizing countries in the world as well. And it's some of the studies are already showing that our cities are warming faster than the rest of the country, in part because of the built environment, what is called the urban heat island effect, the air conditioners we use to cool ourselves down also add to the warming in our microclimates. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we currently preparing? Many cities, over 100 cities in the country, have what are called heat action plans. But 97% of those heat action plans actually don't undertake what are called risk and vulnerability assessments. So they're more about plans that once you hit a heat wave, then what do you do? Mm-hmm. So the first thing we have to do is start understanding in a very granular way how different cities, and within the cities, each ward is going to get impacted. We've just done this at CW for the city of Thane in Maharashtra, the first heat and humidity action plan based on IPCC standards, ward by ward by ward. That allows you to understand, are you looking at a poor neighborhood that might not have air conditioners? Are you looking at an area that has very much more outdoor economic activities, such as construction sites? Then you start designing the response measures. The second thing we have to do, just like we've done with, say, cyclones, we have cyclone shelters. We now need to build cooling centers and cooling shelters in our cities to respond to these severe heat waves. The third thing we have to do is massively invest in the greening of our spaces. Mm-hmm. Just planting trees is not going to mitigate climate change, but it does matter. For instance, New Delhi has a much higher share of greenery than that area that recorded the 52 degrees Celsius. So while Delhi on average has about 23 degrees green cover, New Delhi has much more, whereas that region had just about 7% green cover. Investing in green cover actually reduces the severity of the heat shocks that you face. And finally, what we have to work on is really, are we building an energy system that begins to combat this crisis? We have invested heavily in the country in building up the 4th largest renewable energy capacity. But even then, you continue to hear people saying, well, can we really rely on renewables? We are faced with a climate crisis and an air pollution crisis and a heat crisis because we are burning fossil fuels. And it's high time that we start investing in the resilient infrastructure, in the clean infrastructure that is possible. We can now see that solar plus storage can deliver electricity at rates cheaper than thermal power. So we need not wait any longer to have a structural shift in our energy system and in building cities that are more resilient against the climate crisis.
One final question and very short answer, if I may ask, because we are running out of time. Is there any city, any part of the country that you see is actually preparing for the likely climate crisis that we could face, particularly when it comes to heat waves? Is there any city ahead of the curve, any part of the country at the moment at all?
Well, I would say I would give the example of Thane again, because it has come up with the first heat and humidity action plan. To implement the plan, we'll have to see whether this season or by the next season we can prevent any kind of heat-related deaths. But as I said, cities that have already got those heat action plans can now upgrade those plans to account for vulnerability and start putting in these basic measures, the heat, the cooling shelters, the greening of the spaces, and changing the power equation, the power mix that we have. Those are the immediate steps we have to take.
Dr. Ghosh, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pity that we've had a 3-month-long campaign and political parties have not discussed issues like climate change, which will affect the lives of millions of citizens, but instead focus on Hindu-Muslim politics. That's perhaps something to introspect and ponder over for our politicians and, dare I say, the media too. Dr. Ghosh, thank you very much for joining us. Continuing investigation into the unraveling of Pune's Porsche case. In a stunning twist, it's now emerged that it was the minor's mother who gave her blood sample for her son's alcohol test. Shivani Agarwal's sample was then swapped after she paid 3 lakh rupees to the doctors at Sassoon Hospital. She's now absconding. Take a look at the latest twist.
The cries of these mothers still haunt. They have lost the young children, Ashwini and Anish. Both young IT professionals were crushed by speeding Porsche being driven by a drunk minor in Pune.
इसे सबसे सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए, क्योंकि वो बच्चा नहीं है, एक मतलब ड्रिंक करके इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी चलाता है, वो कोई नाबालिग नहीं है, सब चीजें वो बालिग जैसा कर रहा है, तो उसे सजा भी अच्छी होनी चाहिए ताकि दूसरे को संदेश मिले कि ऐसा कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए।
केवल पैसे के बल पे ये अपनी बच्ची को 15 घंटे में छुड़वा लिए। ऐसे मेरे बच्चे को ला सकते हैं क्या? वो ले आए मेरे बच्चे को वापस, ला सकते हैं। 15 घंटे नहीं, मैं उनको 30 घंटे देती हूँ, ला सकते हैं। अपने बच्चे को छुड़वा लिए।
As two mothers await justice, another mother tried to subvert it. This is Shivani Agarwal, the mother of Pune's Porsche Parivar. And it has now emerged that it was Shivani that gave her blood sample for her son's alcohol test. The blood sample of her drunk son, the minor driver of the Porsche, was swapped with the mother. Shivani Agarwal also paid 3 lakh rupees to the doctors at Pune's Sassoon Hospital to swap the blood samples. Shivani is now on the run. She is reportedly hiding in Chandigarh. This is the latest in the unraveling of this family.
Please, I request Police Commissioner to please protect him. Please protect him. Please.
Vishal Agarwal, the minor's father who forced the driver to take the blame and bribed the doctors to swap his son's blood reports, is currently in custody. S.K. Agarwal, the grandfather who allegedly threatened and kidnapped the driver and also had links to underworld don Daud Ibrahim, is also under arrest. It is now clear that this influential builder family did all it could to buy their child's release. What about the price of the 2 lives lost? With Divyesh Singh in Pune, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's turn and end our show with a good news story. A unique swimming school in Rajasthan's Udaipur. We discussed heat wave. This is a good time to have this good news story. Rajendra Agarwal, also known as Raju Bhai, is giving swimming lessons to children in Fateh Sagar Lake for the last 44 years. And he's doing that for free. He is our good news today's story. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
This is a unique swimming school. Scores of children come to Fateh Sagar Lake in Udaipur to get free training. The classes are held by a retired professor, Rajendra Agarwal. He started the informal swimming school 44 years ago in the year 1980.
स्विमिंग करना सिखाते हैं भैया, बुलाते तो किसी को है नहीं, पेरेंट्स को पता चलता है जैसे जैसे बच्चों को देखते हैं और ले लेके आते हैं। गर्मी की छुट्टियों में ज्यादा आते हैं बच्चे सीखने के लिए। 3 जनरेशन सीखती है मेरे से। पहले बच्चे सीखते थे, फिर वो कुछ बड़े हो गए, उनकी शादियां हो गई, उनके बच्चे हो गए, वो सीखते हैं, उनके दादाजी सीख के गए। ऐसे 3 जनरेशन तो मेरे पास काफी है।
Every summer, over 200 children attend Agarwal's swimming classes. He claims many learn swimming in just 15 days.
स्विमिंग निःशुल्क सिखाता हूँ भैया, जो आना चाहे आए। कोई अगर एफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता है तो साधन भी मैं दे देता हूँ मेरी तरफ से उनको लाके। स्विमिंग करना चाहिए, बाहर तो बहुत पैसे लगते हैं, यहाँ निःशुल्क सिखा रहा हूँ। लोग योग भी करते हैं स्वस्थ रहने के लिए। स्विमिंग ऐसी एक एक्सरसाइज है जो डॉक्टर लोग भी बोलेंगे अगर आप स्विमिंग करते तो किसी और एक्सरसाइज की जरूरत नहीं, आप हमेशा फिट रहेंगे।
Parents fondly call him Raju Bhai.
मैं राजू सर से स्विमिंग सीखी हूँ और मैं एक बार में सीखी हूँ, बाकी मैं लास्ट वीक सीखी हूँ तो भी मैं सीख गई हूँ। और राजू सर मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट देते हैं।
पिछले 40 सालों से ऐसा लगातार अपनी यहाँ पर सेवा दे रहे हैं और मैंने भी सीखा। मेरा छोटा बेटा है, ये 5 साल का, और ये भी यहाँ सीख रहा है। मेरा 10 साल का बेटा भी यहीं सीख करके गया है। तो हम तो सर से बहुत ज्यादा खुश हैं क्योंकि आज पानी फ्री में नहीं मिलता है, सब पानी में तैरना फ्री में सिखा रहे हैं।
3 जनरेशन से मैं आया, मेरे बच्चा आ रहा है, मेरे कई गेस्ट आप सीख के गए हैं, स्पेशल समर की छुट्टी में आते हैं। और इनमें 1% ये नहीं है कि इसको मैं जो है कोई फीस लूँ, कोई कुछ लूँ। ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ, एक निस्वार्थ भावना के साथ। ये बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है।
वो पहले ट्यूब और फ्लोटर्स के साथ सिखाते हैं, फिर फ्लोटर्स खोल देते हैं और फिर रस्सी में लेके जाते हैं, तो सारी चीजें स्टेप बाय स्टेप अच्छे से करवाते हैं।
Enjoying an oil massage, Raju Bhai keeps a watchful eye on the kids. He's very grateful to God that he could teach hundreds of people swimming over the years, ensuring their safety. With Satish Sharma in Udaipur, Bureau Report, India Today.